Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. In this video, I will show you how to solve problem example 3 for the slide given in the discussion on classification of signal part 2. Okay, so the first question asks you to determine the even and odd part of the function, okay, which is g of t equals to 4 cos 3 pi t. Okay, so if you still remember from our slide, okay, for the even part of a given signal, which is g of t, we can use this equation, okay. G of t equals to gt plus g minus t over 2. Okay, while for the odd part, you can use the equation g of t equals to minus g minus t over 2. Okay, so let's look at this one by one. So if we substitute in this equation, you get g of t equals to 4 cos 3 pi t plus g minus t means you substitute this t with minus t. Okay, so you will have 4 cos minus 3 pi t divided by 2. Okay, now once you arrive here, okay, in order for you to solve this, okay, if you are confused with this one, okay, it is good to have a look at the graph for cosine function. Okay, so the basic graph for a cosine function looks like this. Okay, see, go up, okay, maybe here, down and up again. Yeah. Okay, this is the general graph of a cosine function. So if you look at the graph here, you can say that the cosine function is actually an even function. Okay, so which means this part over here, okay, the g of minus t is actually equals to this part over here, which is g of t. Okay, so in this case, we can substitute in this equation g of t equals to 4 cos 3 pi t plus 4 cos 3 pi t. Okay, because my g minus t is equals to g plus t, so we can substitute this part here with only 3 pi t divided by 2. So g of t equals to, if you add, you will get 8 cos 3 pi t over 2 divided by 2, which will give you 4 cos 3 pi t. Okay, so this is the even part of the function g of t. Now the odd part, if we substitute, will give us 4 cos 3 pi t minus 4 cos minus 3 pi t divided by 2. and we can say that this part actually we can substitute with simply 3 pi 2. So g of t equals to 4 cos 3 pi t minus 4 cos 3 pi t equals to 2. Okay, so this part cancel each other, so it will become 0, which is actually true, because if you look at the graph here, okay, the cosine function is actually an even signal. Okay, so the odd part, okay, of the function will be 0. Now let's look at the second question, okay, where you are asked to determine if the given function is even, odd, or neither. Okay, so let's look at this one at a time. So we have g of t equals to t5 minus 2t to the power of 3. Okay, so this one, before I go further, if you still remember in our slide, okay, where I discuss about even and odd function, so I say for even signal, okay, you will have g of t equals to g minus t. However, for odd signal, you will have g minus t equals to minus g of t. So we can use these two equations to check whether the given function is even, odd, or neither. Okay, so let's try the first one. Let's try g minus t. So you substitute t with minus t to the power of 5 minus 2 minus t to the power of 3. If you solve this, you get minus t to the power of 5, this one plus 2 to the power of 3. Okay, so when you look here, okay, this signal is not equal to this signal over here. Okay, so it means g of t is not equals to g minus t. Okay, so this is not an even signal. Now let's try the minus g of t, which is simply minus 1 multiplied to t power 5 minus 2t3. Okay, so if you multiply, you will get minus t5 plus 2t3. Okay, so now if you look, you will see that this signal here, okay, is equivalent to this signal here. Okay, so it means you have g minus t equals to minus gt. So for the first question, okay, this is an odd signal. Now let's look at the second one. Okay, second one you have, let's just look here. So you have gt equals to 5 sine pi t. Okay, so if you have minus t 5 sine minus pi t. Now here it is best to look at the basic form of sine wave. Okay, so for sine wave, the signal looks like this. Okay. So if you look this form, okay, you can see that this part here is actually the negative mirror image of this part. Okay, so chi of minus t is actually the negative mirror image of chi of t. Okay, so that means this one, okay, will remain like this. So chi of t is not equals to chi minus t. Okay, so if we try minus chi of t, which is minus 5 sine pi t, okay, so from this relation, okay, we can substitute to 5 sine minus pi t. Okay, so in this case, chi minus t is equals to minus gt. So again, this is an odd signal. Okay, so let's look at the third one. Okay, let's go back here. The third one, okay, which is this equation here. So let's try the chi minus t, which is equals to 2 minus t square minus 3 minus t plus 6. So you will get 2t square plus 3t plus 6. So if you see this equation here is not equal to this equation, okay, because here you have positive while here you have negative. Okay, so chi of t is not equals to chi minus t. Let's try the odd one. Minus chi of t equals to minus, okay, 2t square minus 3t plus 6. So you will get minus 2t square plus 3t plus this one will be minus 6. Okay, so again you look, this signal is not equals to this signal, okay, because here you have negative negative, but here is positive and positive. So minus so chi minus t is not equals to minus chi of t. So this signal is neither even nor odd. Okay, so I think that's all for example problem 3. I will see you in the next video where I will discuss on the mathematical expression of some basic signals. Thank you.